All right, do I want my necklace out for this or not? We want the necklace. Yeah, we want the bling. We want all the bling out. Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Visitor Parking. You're watching on TikTok Live. You're watching on YouTube when you get up in the morning. It's like Christmas. We got a new podcast on again today. We have made it now 39 episodes. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. Thank you, production. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being so much. What'd you say? You're the man. You're the man, dude. Dude, production, can we give a big shout out to our production team? Everybody in the back, you guys, like this is all meant so much to me that you guys have been here supporting me through 39 episodes of this podcast. On average, we are getting about 8 listeners a week combined. And 8 listeners, it sounds like a lot, I know. But back then, we were getting about 2 listeners. Mom and dad, any given Sunday would be listening to this podcast. But we're up to 8 across 3 different platforms, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. I would love some ideas on how to brand this podcast, honestly. We're going to get into that later in the show. Anyway, we've had a lot going on this week. I don't know where to begin. I don't normally have paper with me. I normally just wing this show, but since I'm on TikTok Live, I felt like I had to do this for you live. We have had a lot. I don't know. I don't want this to be a politics podcast. I don't want it to be a politics podcast. But my fucking God, he's so fucking stupid. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. I had to watch the clips. We've had 2 serious episodes, very serious episodes. First episode when Charlie Kirk got shot. That was sad for the whole country. Some people it wasn't sad for. Your opinions are your opinions. I don't care. The more I found out about the guy, the more I realized he wasn't that chill of a dude. But we're not here to talk about Charlie Kirk and if he was a good person or not a good person. I do not fucking care. But somebody I do want to talk about, somebody I do want to recognize who did pass away. We lost. She was, again, this is the funny thing. I'm probably going to get to one of these points a lot sooner in the show. But I did want to mention her name was Zuza. She passed away on Monday. She was a young girl. She was suffering from leukemia. And I actually found this girl through an account called, I think her name was Secret. And then, I know all this. I'm just trying to play cool. But my wife liked this girl. Her name was Samara. She had an account called Secret. I watched this girl on TikTok probably 6 months ago. It was a video of the girl with the pink hair, who has pink hair now. Samara, she was going shopping, which I thought it was her sister at the time. And she took this girl shopping, and I just thought she was so eccentric. Samara had all this weird jewelry. She did her makeup all differently and strange. Like, she just stuck out. And it was like, not that, anybody has the right to be judgy of the way people look. It can't all look like me, like a little stud. But, I mean, Samara, she kind of dresses weird. She's got the weird makeup, but it's so unique to who she is. She doesn't give a fuck who thinks about her and who's looking at her. And that's why we all see her TikToks. She gets like 10 million views on her posts. But anyway, she took out this little girl. And this little girl was her friend. I thought it was her sister, but turns out it was just a friend that she had made. I don't know where, but basically the girl died of leukemia. She had a pretty, it may have been leukemia or a pretty rare blood disease or common. I don't know which one it was. But she suffered for a long time, I found out, with this disease. So just wanted to think about her on this podcast. I did not know her at all. But from the posts I saw, she was always laughing. She was always happy. And I'm like, damn, if somebody this much smaller than me in this much pain can be happy, like, why can't we all be happy? Like, she was fighting. She loved life. Like, I think she went through a lot of hardships visibly on screen, but she didn't. She spread no hate. She wasn't out on TikTok saying, "Fight me, argue with me, tell me why you shouldn't be gay. Tell me why black pilots are qualified. Like, she wasn't out there bashing people. She was just a girl, and she fucking passed away due to fucking cancer. And, I think people like this we need to be recognizing if we're gonna be doing this about death now, we should be honoring more people than that. But honestly, Zuza, R.I.P. Little Angel. I feel horrible, for all the people that are going to miss you when you're gone. And you know what? I was a fan. I didn't follow you personally, but I saw you through the other account. And, you will be missed on TikTok. So anyway, moving on. I kind of alluded to the funeral. We'll get to that. I just want to talk about in the context of the Donald. The guy has been... he can't stand. Donald cannot stand when he's not in the fucking news. You know what I mean? Like, he thrives on being in the news, being in camera. All right, I got to calm down. I'm swearing a bit. We're getting a little too into it. I think it's because we're on camera. I like the setup tonight, so it's making me speed up my cadence a little bit more than I would have. Okay, let's all just calm it down. All right, we're back. We've reined it in. There was a funeral. This funeral was... imagine your funeral, okay? I want you to imagine your funeral. Hopefully, this is what it looks like. Your family is there. Your loved ones are there. People who knew you and were associated by you, came by and paid their respects. You go to the funeral home, then they go back to somebody's house, and that's just kind of how it goes. And they say a lot of things about you. Now I want you to imagine that your funeral is in a giant stadium. Somebody's coming down from the ceiling with angel lights. There's fireworks. There is everything that you can think of going on at this funeral. And also, you have the president speaking at your funeral. You have every right-wing conservative speaking at your funeral. I don't know. Maybe you had 2 funerals. Maybe that's the funeral that you wanted. Maybe those were your wishes. I would not want to go that way. I wouldn't want to go with a bunch of people who thought they knew me just because they saw me on this. Just because you fucking see me here. You don't know me. You don't know my life. Like, my words are valuable, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming to show me respect, or anybody. But, man, just give me peace and quiet when I go. Like, give me my family. Give me a birch tree. Give me, put me on a hill somewhere, Have my daughter, I just don't think I would want that type of recognition, but, that's what some people were about. Anyway, I want to point out at the funeral, Donald Trump looks like the absolute worst hugger, surprisingly. I mean, he's huge. He's big. He's Derrick Henry size, allegedly. He's like 6'3", 6'5", 250. You would think that he would be a good hugger, but the guy... He brought her in. She gives her the little kisses on there, and then she goes in for a really big hug because she's upset because her husband really did pass away and she's mourning, and Donald's like, and you read the comments, everyone's like, she needed that hug so bad. Oh my God, thank God the president was there for her. Oh my God. And then the guy gets on the microphone and proceeds to say, I hate the enemy. I hate my opponent. I hate them. Hate is for me. I'm like, oh my God. This is the motherfucker that we elected to lead our country. He hates his opponents, and he thinks his opponents are half the people who didn't vote for him. Like, that's a little fucking scary, don't you think? He hates you. Like, even in war, this is how I knew that Donald Trump would have got the shit knocked out of him in high school if he played football. The guy has never made contact in his life. He stands armed, he loves to watch fights and all that, but he's not a physical guy. Like, he's fearful. All that I hear when you talk about people like that, when you hate the other side, that shows me that you're weak. It shows me that you can't fight. It shows me that you don't want the other, like, you're so afraid the other person might do, like, his opponent. it's just crazy, dude. Like the guy is nuts. The guy, like, he's off his rocker. We talked about the Tylenol thing, which I did not know Tylenol was a deeply Republican belief that Tylenol would make you autistic. Autism was first discovered in 1933. Tylenol was invented in 1955. Maybe Tylenol found out how autism started and mixed the right amount of chemicals and then started giving it to people and it started creating autism. That could be. Could be, but it's probably not how that happened. So every week, if his, like, without the guy who passed away, you know, Donald was out of the news for a week. He brings himself back into the news. He says some wild shit. Who the fuck talks at your funeral and goes, very big news. Big news coming out tomorrow. Big news. Big news. And then he comes out for the big news that he's been preparing for. He can't pronounce acetaminophen. He couldn't pronounce 3 of the countries that he said were no longer at war. The guy, he's just, you know, it was cool to vote the class clown in as president a while ago, right? It ain't cool anymore. Like, we're done. We're done. Do what you want to do, bro, but just stay away from our fucking free speech. Like, Jimmy Kimmel, I didn't even like Jimmy Kimmel, but, like, don't cancel the guy. Don't cancel the guy because he said something about the guy who said a lot of hateful shit about a lot of people. Don't cancel him. You know, I get it. You shouldn't say something. You shouldn't probably, talking about people who recently passed away is never going to end well. It's never going to get you viewers. I mean, I'm sacrificing viewers here by talking about it. But I just think that Donald's going to live out the rest of his career like this. I think that it's just, we're along for the ride at this point. We're going to get whatever the fuck we get. Oh, the last favorite Donald thing that he said today, climate change. He gets talking to the UN. He's talking to all the other countries that are not us, which is fine. A lot of them, a lot of the big ones, United Nations. You all fell for it. The climate change hoax. It's a hoax. They used to call it, he said they used to call it climate cooling. They would call it climate cooling. Now they call it climate warming. Now they call it climate change because they don't want to be wrong. Either way, they don't want to be wrong. And carbon footprint is a lie. It's a lie. The guy literally came out and said that we don't give a carbon footprint. I'm like, bro, this is just, we get what we voted for. I don't even care. I don't give a shit anymore. I really don't. That's kind of where I'm at in the Donald Trump show, which is what I'm calling America now. We're the Donald Trump show. You're fired. It's just, it's not feasible. Not feasible to continue on this way. But anyway, going back to my point on the football talk, we had a lot of great football on this weekend. My Ravens, we took a bad beat. But we knew that this game, like, yeah, we always thought we could beat the Lions. We didn't really know. Anyway, going back to my point about people not being ready for football, I don't know what made me think about gun control in football, right? But if you guys have ever played a contact sport, soccer is not a contact sport. Baseball is not a contact sport. So stop throwing yourselves in that mix. If you've ever played football where a motherfucker is coming down there to break your fucking neck off, I'm sorry, there's a lot of swearing. I'm amped up tonight, as you guys can tell. But no, this is a sport where somebody's coming downhill and they're coming to hit the snot out of you. Like, it's violence. It's violence. We started playing football after World War I, is when football came about. Football, how old do you guys think football is? Can I get how old? How old is football? Is it 50 years? Is it 75 years? Football is over 100-year-old sport. We've been playing it since right after World War II. World War I. I think it started in 1920. And we just ended World War I. We come back. Football's being played. And the league has been up since then. It's been running great. But the sport was invented, essentially. You have your ground attack. You have your air attack. You have your disguises. You have your tactics. You're trying to move your line all the way to, like, you're basically just moving those trenches. It's a game of inches. So if you see the parallels between war and football, they're there. But if you played football in high school, you know that people don't like contact. I didn't know I was going to like contact, honestly. Like, people talk to me and they're like, did you ever play any sports? And I'm like, motherfucker, look at me. Like, what do you mean did I ever fucking play any sports? Like, I'm big backed. I'm fucking angry all the time. Like, yes, I played sports. But no, I kind of had to explain this to people. In high school, I was pretty good. I played varsity 4 years in a row, second team All-State. And then I think I had played college football for a little bit. We'll call it 2 days. I won't say I played. I got to play in D3, and everybody was shorter than me, and I'm not that tall, so I was like, this is not worth getting up at 6 a.m. going to bed 10:30. But I was good at football. That's kind of the little brag here. But I don't know. It made me think of gun control because I'm like, that's been a big topic too this week. And as we're talking about gun control, right? Just because you own a gun, you got your blicky, you got your gun. What are you gonna do with it besides hunt? Like, everybody acts like because you have a gun that you're safer, that you can defend yourself, you can defend your family. Sure, that's fine. But have you ever been in a fucking firefight? Have you ever been in Afghanistan? Have you ever seen bullets whizzing past your heads? People's getting ripped apart by fucking shells? Are you from downtown Baltimore? All I'm saying is most people are not violent. So if you go and you played football in high school and you were good at, it's a good chance that you liked contact, or you were good at getting hit. You didn't care. But you get guns involved in a situation, I really don't think that I trust a lot of the people to not shoot themselves or friendly fire. So that's just my stance on gun control. I don't think having a gun makes you any safer. I think for most of you guys, it would make you actually less safe. And it would make me less safe for you to have a gun. Please don't fire it in attempting to save anybody's life. You're too far away. You're going to miss. You're shaky. The person who's tweeting about having the gun is somebody I don't want to have a gun. Anyway. Yeah, Donald Trump, don't get out there and play football, man. You get fucking cracked, boy. Anyway, yeah, the Bills, man. Why are the Bills better than us? We'll get into the Ravens game for a bit, I guess. I kind of need a break. I need a break. Take time. Break. Woo. All right. 18 minutes. Guys, I just went on a tangent for 18 minutes here. 18 minutes. So I got to listen to that back, see where I was. Yeah. Josh Allen. I don't know. I think Josh Allen has a better offensive line. I know that sounds like a cop-out. Josh Allen's hands are bigger. Josh Allen's huge. I think Josh Allen has a massive height advantage on Lamar. They both have different strengths. The offense. Well, yeah, just because I watch those games, and Josh Allen's always behind like 3 linemen. He's not behind one, or he's not running away. If he's getting out of the pocket, it's because there's a wall following him. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, thank you guys for joining the podcast tonight. I did not know I was going to do it live, but we are doing it live. I've already got 18 minutes down, and I got to figure out a second theme. When I record a podcast, I usually listen to it for the 10 minutes that I record it, and then I hear it back, and then I go again. This is a little different because I don't want to pause this and pause the camera because then I have to splice it. It's all weird. But yeah, so I've got to figure out what I'm saying for the next. I don't think I need much. We did a lot. Talked about Zuza, talked about Charlie Kirk. Ugh, I hate talking about Charlie Kirk. No fucking rules. Okay. Talked about Samora. Talked about podcasting. Talked about football for some reason. We probably need to get Lamar Jackson. Okay. All right. What's up, everybody? We're back. Welcome back to the Visitor Parking Podcast. We had to take a quick little break intermission there. I went 18 minutes without stopping, so you try to do that. I'm thinking about doing stand-up comedy at some point. I think I'm pretty funny. I definitely think I could probably be good at that. But anyway, I want to keep talking here. Where are we? The Baltimore Ravens. I've been a Baltimore fan for a long time. My whole life, some would say. My grandfather lived in Baltimore. He used to give me Baltimore gear all the time. I had Raven stuff in my room since before I can remember. I think my parents tried to convert me to a Redskins fan at some point. I think the problem was I lived with my mom most of the time. I would see my dad every other weekend. And so, like, he didn't have enough influence over me to make me, like, a Redskins fan. My stepdad was a Redskins fan, but he wasn't like a diehard football fan. He would never wear a jersey. So, I mean, like, I could have been a Redskins fan, maybe, if that were the case, but I didn't know. Like, my grandpa just kept giving me Baltimore stuff. So that's the team I picked. Luckily, I feel like I've gotten on the right side of history for a while. We've had an amazing run. We've had 2 Super Bowls in 25 years. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad about it whatsoever. Lamar is the best thing that's ever happened to this franchise. I want to say thank you to Lamar just for playing at our team. I really don't care if we win a Super Bowl. I just love okay, that's a lie. I want to win a Super Bowl, but I do love watching Lamar play. He's a one-of-a-kind talent. And we got Derrick Henry, and we got DeAndre Hopkins, and we got Zay Flowers, and we got Bateman. We have a Hall of Fame wide receiver. We have so many good people on our football team, but that little white Wonder Bread of a coach, John Harbaugh, is ruining this team. We drafted a bunch of South Florida guys. It's a bunch of guys from Pompano. They hang out with Kodak Black at gas stations. John Harbaugh is used to coaching Joseph Flacco, throwing it down the field 75 yards. And he's in with that one, boys. That's the fastest man we've ever seen, Wester McFarlane. He's not used to coaching Lamar Jackson. 4 of our starting players have grills. They throw up game. Like, dude, this team is this. I think John Harbaugh's lost the locker room. I think we probably need. I'm just going to be outright and say I think we probably need to go with a different coach, a Mike Tomlin, a player like Ray Lewis. We need somebody with passion. These players are young, is what I've noticed, and young players tend to thrive more on passion than they do actual. They need system. And they need passion. And I don't think Harbaugh gives them enough of that. I think he's just very steady, strategic, has their backs, which is good for development. But when it comes to that leveling up senior leadership, he relies on a player on the team to do that. And I just don't see the players doing it. Derrick Henry's not vocal. Lamar's, he's angry, but he is not like coaching the other players up. Same thing with their defense. Roquan Smith is so quiet. Roquan Smith's our middle linebacker. That's why I played in high school as long as with D-line. More on the line than linebacker. But I understood linebacker. Like middle linebacker, you're the quarterback of the defense. You are the most important part. Everybody gets in position. If you're not making tackles, the team is not doing well. If you're not turning the ball over, you're not a great linebacker. I mean, so Roquan, he has all the skills to be a linebacker, but he doesn't talk to the people. He doesn't lead them to freedom. So I would like to see the Ravens get a little bit more vocal, but honestly, Harbaugh is a player's coach. He wants the players to coach. He doesn't want to coach, is how it feels. And Todd Monken is the type of coach, he has a plan A. If plan A fails, he doesn't know what to do. There's no plan B. He didn't even think about a plan B. He's just like, shit, plan A failed. They're man for himself. And so Lamar's doing his own thing. The receivers are doing his own. Like, he doesn't adjust. So I'm disappointed in the Ravens, but I don't blame the players. The players are young. When the players are young and talented, and you have a couple old ones that are Hall of Famers, I think as a team we needed this loss, and I'm ready to move on from it. So I perjured myself from that game. All right, need a break. All right, what are we doing? How long is that? All right, we talked about the game. We're at 25 minutes. Subtract 5 or 7. All right. What else do I want to talk about? Yeah, we do need a Dan Campbell, don't we? Next session. Oh. Sorry, guys. I'm just thinking. I gotta get my thoughts together. All right. Just smoke more before I get on this, honestly. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. All right, guys, we're back. We had to do a second intermission there, but don't worry. We've got a word from our sponsors coming right up, baby. Producers, who's our sponsors this week? Really? No. No, we canceled. They canceled on us. Yeah, we're going to cancel. We're not doing them. I choose who we sponsor here. You don't tell me. You don't tell me who we sponsor here. What else did I do? Mr. Gambini, Mr. Gambini, will you please sit down in my courtroom? If I am to address you again, I will hold you in contempt of court. Do I make myself clear, Mr. Gambini? Yes, Your Honor. I can do the Gambini part. I can't do the other part. I tried to finish that one last time. I wasn't able. I didn't know where to go with that skit, so it kind of killed it. But Mr. Gambini, I think it's because I can only do the Mr. Gambini part. I can't do the other part. I wish I could talk like a Southerner. Okay, life updates. I think we could do that. I guess. Ugh. That's the problem. I was talking to somebody about this, and my mic isn't working. Well, this mic is not on, sir. Sorry, I got to talk. So this mic is going to be on later. I don't have it connected here. I know I'm far away. So is that what you're talking about, or it's not working in general? If it's not working in general, I'm going to be pissed because I've been on live for a minute now. No, it should be working. Are you talking about this mic? This mic isn't working? Well, this mic is working on my computer, and I'm going to publish the podcast tonight. So the audio will be working. I just don't have it linked to my phone because my phone is recording on live. It's a whole thing. Do I just sound far away? Is that what you're complaining about? I guess you were giving me a heads up. You weren't really complaining. Dude, bro said mic isn't working and then left the chat. Fuck you. All right. Mr. Gambini. Mr. Gambini, if you speak one more time, I will hold you in contempt. All right. Let's see here. What the fuck was I just talking about? What was I just talking about, guys? Come on. Help me out. What was I saying? All right. Life update, right? Life update. Life update in my life. Me and my wife, we're celebrating 1 year of marriage. This weekend, Sunday, will be our wedding anniversary. This is our first wedding anniversary. We have two beautiful children, one child together, one child with from my past, and well, let's edit this out. We're gonna edit that part out later. I have an anniversary coming up with my wife this weekend, and I'm very excited. I'm taking her on a surprise date. She's not allowed to know until the day of, and we do this to keep our marriage. Like, this is the one thing that we did when we were dating that made for great laters, and it just kept the relationship alive, kept the spark. Later is important. You always, is it later yet? When are we doing later? Is it later now? So later is important in a relationship, but also you don't have later and all that stuff without a connection. And I think doing this for each other, doing little surprise dates for one another, kind of keeps it interesting. So I will say, our marriage has gone ups and downs like any marriage does, but when we do these surprise dates for each other, it definitely makes a big difference. So can't tell her, can't even tell you guys because it's live, so she'll see it tomorrow. But yeah, Saturday we'll recap that date, tell you how it goes. But yeah, reflecting on a year of marriage. Damn, I should have just done the podcast on that. You know what? I'll do it next week. Next week, I will reflect on a year of marriage. I'm not going to do it this week. I've already gone too much, and I think that's a bigger episode. But I will say, marriage has been, like, even the bad parts, the hard parts, there are no bad parts in marriage. Sweetie, if you're listening. But I can be a real asshole. And she can be really stubborn. And I'm just kidding. She's perfect. But yeah, I can be a real hard person to live with. And to find someone who puts up with you and also finds a way to be happy with you day in and day out, like, that's one thing. Is like, she has stayed my friend, and she has stayed connected to me, with the laters and all that. Like, is it later? The kids go down. That was later than, we stayed romantic, and I think that's hard to do in a 4-year relationship. But we definitely prioritize, us, and then we know the kids will be happy if we're happy, kind of thing. And we did that before the kids too. So I mean, but definitely trying to keep the spark alive is a full-time job. There's if you fight, you care. You just don't want to fight, to the point where it's like you're stressing each other out, but you have to learn all this as you go on in a relationship with somebody. You've got to learn when to stop pushing their buttons. And you've got to read, when it's worth fighting. And if you know me, you know that I don't know when to quit, and I don't know when to stop fighting. I'm fighting at all times. I'm fighting my shadow, if you know what I mean. I'm shadow boxing, as a therapist might say to me. But I think I'm working on that, honestly. I'll be frank. I've gone to therapy before. I've done quite a bit of therapy for my active brain. I don't even know if it's like trauma based as much as it is just getting tools to deal with stresses. I had kids young. I put a lot of expectations on my plate. Like, I've been running a business for 5 years. And it's a business that my mom started. She had started 2 different companies in staffing. They were some of the, I think her company is the largest staffing agency in DC, Maryland, and Virginia that's not national. So, they're number 2 on the list or number 3 on the list. And the other one's Insight Global, which is massive. And the other's Alta IT Services. So, to have them be 3rd on the list, shout out Quadrant, it's pretty impressive. But I grew up wealthy. I grew up not needing for anything. If I wanted to go to a game, here you go, babe, front row, got you a limo, take 4 friends. If you want to go to vacation, sure, bring a couple friends, let's go. I had the best childhood in terms of safety, security, in love. I had a good childhood. I really didn't have a lot to complain about, but my mom, she had that childhood where it's she had to fight. She had to kind of, they were uphill both ways. They were super poor. So growing up with those type of parents, you never stop hearing about it. So hard work ethic, all those fun things are they're kind of instilled in you. And it's so boring, isn't it? Hard work. It's like, just give me the mansion, give me the fun shit. And I think that's what you don't grow an appreciation for it until you go through it and have to make the money yourself. And 5 years ago, it was the pandemic, June. She's like, go ahead. She's like, start a company. You got this. You're a know-it-all. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll start a company. Yeah, it'll be great. Everybody will love me. They'll all respect me. We'll be like Apple. I'll make $100 million. I actually thought this shit. I actually thought in 5 little years that I would be making $100 million a year. And I would be, in my head, I was literally flying to work in a helicopter. I look like fucking Christian Grey. I'm suddenly different. I'm like, I got like a hot, like super hot abs. Like I'm a billionaire. No, that doesn't work like that. It doesn't. That's quick money. 5 years is quick money. Let me give you some advice. I was making $430,000 per year at my sales job. Straight commission at 25 years old. I had 1 child already that was turning 3. What possessed me to start a company? I thought I was making shit money. I didn't know any better. Like, I grew up rich. So to me, mansion, cars, tickets, first class, private jets, that was all normal to me. I didn't know any fucking difference about it. I mean, look at my house. This is my basement. I have a wine cellar. I've always had. This is not strange to me. This was not like, ooh, rewarding. I didn't climb. Like, having the help from my parents to like get a job with them, which I didn't want, by the way. I was like, I don't fucking want to work for my mom and dad. Like, I don't want to be mommy's dad, but I'm also not going to be bad at it. Like if I have to do this for 6 months or a year, I'm like, I'm going to fucking crush this shit. So I did. And I got hooked on it because it paid me, and then life happens and you start a family, on purpose sometimes, like, with Katie, or other times it's kind of just happens to you. And, you try to make the best for your daughter. And, life was difficult at that time, and I couldn't appreciate my job. I was 21. It felt like a penthouse in Arlington. I was going to go be with a lot of girls. That was my plan. I didn't see past getting with girls. That was it. Girls. Like that's all I cared about. Money helped. If money helped you get girls, whatever. Money definitely made the car better. The car was more fun to drive around with a girl. And having like an unlimited bar tab, that helped too. But yeah, man, I always change it off. Every time I try to tell my life story, I get stuck in the emotions of it. Like, it's hard for me to talk about having a kid that young. It's hard for me to talk about it still. Like, I can't, it was like, no, I didn't lose 5 years of my life, but it was so stressful. It was so stressful and hard on my psyche, and the things that happened. I made so many mistakes, My daughter was not a mistake. Like, Avery was not a mistake. Like, I love that kid. Like, I would have her again in a heartbeat. Like, wouldn't change a thing about my life, And that's just, but it doesn't mean it's not hard. It doesn't mean God doesn't give you these things, whether you're rich or poor. Like, I had to raise a kid from 22. Like, I was selfish as fuck for 5 years. I'm still pretty selfish. So I don't know how I did it back then, but you do it. You do it or you don't do it. And that's kind of what I found out when I started a company. It's a lot of Donald Trumps out there. A lot of people who get in with life, things happen to them, and they're in a spot that I might have been 5 years ago. They're in a spot that I might have been in, 7 or 8 years ago, where it's like my life felt like it was collapsing half the time. Like, I couldn't breathe. And you can do 2 things. It's fight or flight. You fight for your fucking life, or you roll over and that's it. You run away from it all. Run away from your problems, run away from what you have to do, run away from the thing that is good for you, because it's hard. Yeah, I had to get through a lot of that, and it was tough. Wasn't easy. But I'm here, and I see my daughter every Thursday. Yep. Thank you. Thank you, production. I appreciate, yeah, I appreciate that. No, but honestly, if you can get through the toughest parts of your life, you look back on it and you don't look back on it like it was a curse. I look back on it like it was a gift. Like, now I can breathe because I know that I can get through all this. I know that I can come out the other side and I can. Here's the thing that they don't fucking tell you. You don't just become a better person because you go through shit in your life or because you deal with self-imposed trauma or trauma that's been, a hand that's been dealt to you. It doesn't mean you go through it and become a better person. The thing is, you can go through it and become a bad person. You can go through it and you can choose to become an angry, selfish asshole. And you can choose to pout and you can feel jealous and small, or you can choose to feel like, shit, I'm strong as fuck. I made it through the hardest time of my life where it almost felt like I couldn't do it at some points. It was like, damn, how are we going to get through this? How, like, I waking up every day is hard. Like, sleeping is not even peaceful anymore because I'm so stressed out, and that's what I was going for, man. And I think if you can get through that and realize that if you just fight, it'll all be worth it. But you have to kind of make that choice at some point that I'm not going to look back and regret all that sacrifice and all that pain that I caused myself or that others caused me. I'm going to take it on the chin and keep moving forward and find some peace. So started my company 5 years ago. Getting back to the point. I started my company 5 years ago with the intention to grow it to $100 million. I wanted $100 million in 5 years. $100 million in 5 years without borrowing venture capitalist money, without using someone else's money to fund my business, without taking a $100 million loan from somewhere to, add revenue. My goal was so unrealistic, but it was realistic. I'm so hard-headed. I was in so much pain, I think, in my real life sometimes that, like, I just couldn't get out of this, like, all right, well, if I don't do this, then I'm nothing. If I don't build a $100 million company, I am worthless. If I'm not better than what my parents did, who didn't have advantages that I had, then I might as well just be dead because what do I have to offer anybody? If I can't do that, I'm nothing. Is how I felt all the time, but I didn't know that's what the feeling was or why I was feeling that way. So I've decided. I did a report. I've been poor. I became a millionaire. I think when I was 29 years old, I remember checking it. A couple assets that I had along with cash in the bank. I crossed over that threshold. I was a millionaire before I was 30 years old, and I did not feel like a millionaire. I felt like I was house poor. I felt stressed all the time. I was dependent on my employees. They were like, I felt like I worked for them in a way. I didn't feel like I owned my own business because it was a startup. I've hired probably maybe 50 internal employees, maybe less in 5 years. And there's not one that I've kept since day one. I'm with 3 people right now and 3 people whom I love to death. I would do anything for these 3 people in a professional way, but also these are people I'd go out to a bar with and I'd raise hell with. 4. So I had a conversation with them after I did some reporting, and I was like, guys, are we good to just never hire again? Like, what if we could just stay small and not hire anybody and just keep all the money? I ran a report from last January of 2024. I have paid out $730,000 in salary. Internal. Let's say I only, last year company did right around $2 million in revenue. Let's say I only paid a quarter of that salary. Only paid me, recruiter, and recruiter 2. Add another salesperson who can also do recruiting. Why the fuck would I ever pay somebody else again? I don't need it. Like, I need these guys to make money. I need them to feel it. So we're switching to perm placements. I'm working less hours. Like, I'm the type of person, I can get in there. I can do my job from 10 to 4. I'm that fucking good. I'm that motherfucker. Like, I'm that guy. I initiate contact. I will outsell anybody. Can other people do that? Can I get a company of 100 people that can be that talented and were raised in staffing and got all the advantages I had and have my personality, which developed its own way? No, I know that's unrealistic, but I think it was hard for people to come in here with 0 years of experience, 0 to 6 months of experience. They would learn it from me. They would teach it. I'm really good at it. So it's easy for me. And they couldn't understand. You working, like, you're done. Well, I want to be done too. So they would sit there and text, or they would sit there and go on Instagram or TikTok or fall asleep. Or people treated my startup like it was a fucking tire company. They would come into work literally dressed like it and acted like it. And I'm sure I tolerated this to some extent. But hold on, I got to fix this live. But I also know that that wasn't my path for 5 years, 25 to 30 years old. If I had just not hired anybody and kept it small, worked out of my basement with no rent, I would be probably worth multiple million. I honestly would. That's just 1 year, a little bit over a year. I paid out almost $1 million in salaries. I should not have done that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But that's the generation we're going up against. Generation Z, my sister, bless her heart, they're non-confrontational. Their parents, they did a lot of talking for them. And everything they had from the start was iPads and texting. So that generation, if you look it up, they do not want confrontation. Doesn't make them bad people. It just makes them non-confrontational. My generation, very confrontational, very provocative. We had just got technology. We wanted to fucking show you what technology we had. Millennials were in your face all the time. They don't fight away. They don't steer away from confrontation. But Gen Z, they just don't want to communicate at all. They'll just not show up. If they don't want to have that conversation with you, it's not about respect. It's about fear. I don't want to look you in your eyes and have that conversation with you because I'm afraid. Because I know I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing, or I know I'm not handling it the right way. And this is not to put all the blame on Gen Z, because there's been other generations that are just as bad. Millennials suck too. We all have our traits, but damn. Gen Z is something else, man. You guys want, like Jay-Z said, you want everything for the price of nothing. They want remote, like this Chinese thing that happened to us called COVID, where everybody can go home and work from home. You ain't working. Let's be honest, it's been 5 years. You ain't fucking working. You're going to the grocery store. You're going to the gym. My wife went to the gym today because she didn't have a lot to do. She's in payroll. She went to the gym, I think, at 10 or 11. She said it was packed. Why were you all at the gym? Oh, that was your meeting. They took an early lunch. You're on your own schedule. You're not on the company schedule. And it teaches this generation, it's the same thought of quick money. It's the same thought that when I join TikTok, that I will be able to just join TikTok and go viral. Boom, boom, pay me, follow me, like the screen, tap, tap, tap. That ain't how it works, baby. Clock it. That ain't how it works. TikTok ain't freaking fast money. You go viral, bitch. I went viral 3 motherfucking times. I have videos that are over 3 million on my page. 3 different videos in the span of a month went viral. I got a couple thousand followers. It didn't do jack crap for me. It didn't make me a dime. I got one little perverted lady here, pretends to be a lady, gave me 3 cents the other day. She gave me a rose. I don't want your money. Look at this. I don't need your fucking money. It would have been nice. Truthfully, I don't want it for the money as much as I want it for the fame. I want to be able to because here's what you don't know about being famous. In famous, you can kind of, you can skip lines, you can get things. Life is easier. Sign a couple autographs. I want it to be famous more than rich. Rich is nice. But, fame, worship, you can't buy those things. Anyway, I'm digressing. I don't know how long I've gone on tonight, but my God, it feels late. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to end it. Woo! Man, oh man, guys. We're getting through this podcast. Should I do Rome, Genty for CD? No, hold on to Genty. And are you talking about who's Rome? Romeo Duzier? Yeah, hold on to Genty. CD sucks, man. CD fucking sucks. He's gonna get injured this year. We've got almost an hour on this podcast. Damn, this was a good podcast. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know at all. Wrap this shit up. What are we talking about? We're talking about the business. Talking about quick money. Quick money. TikTok, quick money. Back to my point. Everybody wants quick money nowadays. And you think you can get it on TikTok? Let me tell you, you can't. I post on here 3 or 4 times a day. Your content sucks. Your content's not. Fuck you. You don't know shit about my content. Your content fucking sucks. The problem is there are trillions of you posting a day. Every second somebody posts. Think about that. Every second somebody's posting. Somebody's video is a little bit better. It's a little bit faster. It's a little bit quicker to the point. It's crazy. God, we're at the point of this segment, guys, where we're doing fantasy trades. Let's just get into it. I have the best fantasy team in football. I have DeAndre Hopkins. I've got DeAndre, Keenan Allen. DeAndre kind of sucks. First 2 weeks, though, I played him. Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. He will get a lot better, but who knew? Keenan Allen, great player, honestly. But anyway, guys, that's my story. My little rant on this. So, deciding not to grow. The whole part of this segment that I wanted to talk about was when I stopped trying to grow, I started growing. And I'm not talking about erectile dysfunction. I'm talking about growing a company, which can be a lot like erectile dysfunction, which I don't have, which nobody should have. But oh God, how do we start talking about erectile dysfunction? Oh my God, no, you totally. Oh, this is fucked. This podcast is fucked. We've been going on for an hour. We got fantasy. I can't focus because you guys are distracting me with the fantasy trades. God, and you're not even staying. You're just chatting, and then you're leaving. You're the worst. This guy wants to trade McLaurin for Pierce Hall. These are the worst trades I've ever heard. Bijan. Yeah, let's give up on Bijan. No, don't get Ikabuka yet, dude. Ikabuka's good, but keep Bijan and DJ Moore. If anything, trade DJ Moore and want somebody else for Ibuka. But yeah, it's been a long podcast, guys. I appreciate you bearing with me. I'm going to edit a lot of this out, but the point is when I stopped trying to grow the business, I started to grow. I felt myself being able to sleep again. I felt myself throwing off these outlandish expectations of myself, but I didn't have to give up the business. I might have had to reduce our size a bit internally. I might have had to talk to our landlord about reducing our rent for the next 10 months. I might have to, I'm going without a paycheck. We're just riding on the business. If we get the perms, we get the perms. But I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun. I'm working and focused when I'm there, and then I'm out. I'm at the gym. I'm getting a workout in. Life is good. This is the work-life balance, but I earned this work-life balance. You know, I don't feel like I just went out there and just got the one thing because I couldn't get the other thing. This is still me doing what I love, which is being my own boss and not having to answer to anybody else. And that ultimately, at the end of the day, is probably what motivates me. And also these freaking they're not that hard tonight because they're kind of sore, but I've been going to the gym again, biceps, triceps, rowing. It's been great. So I feel happier. I feel healthier. I'm getting sleep. And most importantly, I don't give a fuck if I grow this company. As long as I'm being able to pay my bills, if I'm making close to $1 million a year. And it's crazy how I'm talking about that like it's a losing story, right? Like I'm settling almost. But that's my reality. I'm keeping the fucking money this year. I'm not giving it away. I'm not paying crazy salaries and training people and then getting it thrown back in my face that they don't like the job. Like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm not giving this money away. Donald Trump, stay away from my company. Stay away from our business. Stop slashing government. Just get out. Honestly, what's the correct word for getting you the fuck out of office? We can't veto you. I don't know the word. I'm too tired. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll have more for you next week. We'll talk about the anniversary, and that's pretty much it, guys. God bless America. God bless our troops. Okay, that was good. I feel like that was a good podcast. I don't know. I feel like I did well. I don't think any of you guys were here from the start, so fuck you. But I feel like that was a good podcast overall. Here we are. This is our setup here. We're about to go edit this joint. I got the lights. Here. That's why it looks so good. Turn these off. Generation, one motivation. She comes running, she comes down to me. Oh, money smile like a drug to you. Whatever you want to do, coming over you. Keep on smiling what we go through. Keep on dancing. Damn, I feel like Rocky in 7, dude. I feel like fucking Rocky in 4, man.